Okay, guys, this is Richard. Just had to share that with you. It reminds me of my younger glory days, many, many moons ago. A favorite part of that movie, 1968. But anyways, I'm sorry I haven't responded. My last video was January 9. Today is January 21, 2021, year 2021. I apologize for not having posted any videos. I did promise stocks, a stock video, and I have not been able to get that done. And I apologize to all my audience because I had some emergencies that took some time to take care of. I greatly apologize to my audience, but I do promise to get that video out shortly. You really cannot compare the stock market or stocks to cryptocurrencies. They're actually two different beasts, but I like to explain it and show the comparisons of why they are not related. But as far as stocks, and I won't do bonds. I'm not an avid fan of bonds. They mostly serve institutional investors. However, I will do videos on stocks and velocity of money, M1, M2, M3, and get into covariant correlations, deviations, beta. So that being said, please give me some time. However, I did want to put out a video to keep in touch with my audience, today being January 21, 2021. Regarding Dogecoin and Bitcoin, I got to say that as far as altcoins, it is doing very, very well, considering the drop in the macro investments into the altcoins. Dogecoin is strong. I could remember just not long ago, about a month ago, it was hovering around a little bit over a month ago, like 3 cents for months, years. 3 cents, 2 cents. Not 2 cents, 3 cents, but I mean a fraction of a cent. 0.003, 0.002, which is a fraction of a cent. You just carry the decimal point. You can see there is 0.00833. You just carry the point. You just carry the decimal over to get to the cent. A couple of rows. It's more like. Well, that is $1. So you're talking about a very small fraction, 0.008 of $1. So you'd have to, if it's 1 penny, then that 8 turns into a 9, and then it beats the 9. It goes into 1 0. So that's where your cent is. It's hard to read. I'm just trying to elaborate on that, on how to read that part. But it's at $1, and it's at less than 1 cent right now. But it's very, very strong. I like that. I mentioned previously, when you study stocks, you want to see a flat line going into Dogecoin. So anyways, I'm sorry, I just enlarged the screen accidentally. So it's hovering. It was like 0.009, less than a cent. It was trying to break a cent just last week, but it didn't. And I've been watching it every day. The other thing that is great about Dogecoin and the other cryptos, I know Ethereum went up to like $1,400 a share, or a point, a unit, just several days ago. Now it's about $1,100, and so is Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped substantially. So The thing that I like about Dogecoin is that it's strong in comparison to Bitcoin and the other crypto, the altcoins. It is stronger. It is relatively stable and higher than was trading for all of last year. But like I said in my previous videos, the hope is that you invest. I'm not selling anything here. I'm not advising anybody. This is it's me, Richard. I'm just doing this for YouTube entertainment. However, if there's something that you can take away from this to better your lives, that would be great. I'm all for it. But for me, $1,000 bet. This could make you a couple $100,000 once it hits almost $1 or $1. So I do see that. I do believe it will happen in the future. I don't know when. It's a long-term hold because what altcoins are doing compared to Bitcoin, they're going parallel. They're going through parallel universes throughout the world. And I've mentioned that there's tons of cryptos out there. They have different purposes and different blockchain methods, but they're all, so Bitcoin is like the king daddy of all the cryptos, and it's garnering all this hype. I don't know why. And I questioned that in my last video on January 9th. Why is Bitcoin getting all of this attention? And it's been around for a while. I mean, I've studied Bitcoin for the last several months, and so, but I don't know why it's garnering all this attention, because yeah, sure, it's got a limited supply, and everybody thinks that's great, but is it really that great? So with Bitcoin, to make it more feasible, they might add fees for investors if they want to liquidate. They'll add fees, or maybe add fees to get into it. So they have to think creatively to make more money out of Bitcoin once the supply is reduced. That's later down the road. It's not this year. It's not next year, but it's later down the years. But at some point, it's going to reach its max. But now, you've got a lot of institutional investors. I'm looking at J.P. Morgan. All this Wall Street money that are going into Bitcoin. And the thing is with crypto investments is that the real estate is not really so. So Wall Street is looking for high returns for their investors. Wall Street has got a lot of the money from the $1 billion bailout. We've got another $2 trillion coming in from President Biden. So that's going to gyrate the markets once the money starts pumping into the economy. Where does this go? So Wall Street, they got their first hands on it. They've got their connections with the lawyers. They got direct lines to all the banks, even to Washington D.C. with politicians, Congress, and all that. I mean, they're always communicating. They're the first ones that know exactly where this money is going down the pipeline. So they've got to take this money. They got to take it and invest it. And it's all about risk and rewards. Risk appetite and rewards. The more risk you take, you could experience losses, or if you hit it right on the nail, you can have substantial yield returns, because no one else in the world have taken the same risk that investor have taken. And then when more people get on the bandwagon, pumps money into it, you're reaping all that profit, all that gains. It's a profit when you sell. So Wall Street is looking for high returns in order to survive, because right now, the way the economy is, and it's really sad to see this, a lot of restaurants, over 100,000 restaurants have went out of business, and they're not coming back. It's very, very hard for businesses to establish in the first place, because it includes investments from the owners, and hiring employees, having that cash flow going, and it starts to sell. It starts when day one they start to sell to the customers to drive that small business. The customer comes through the door or on the website. They order products or services from your business, and then you start this cycle where you're spending and you're bringing in money. You pay employees, you pay taxes. It's a big wheel when you look at it on a macro level, and so a lot of people are filing on. It's unbelievable. 800,000 people, I think, last week filed for unemployment. I feel really good and confident we're going to get out of this, because once we pass the point where most of the population is they've taken their medicine, then there's a lot of pent up demand, and once the jobs come back and people are getting back to work, then there's going to be a lot of spending. It's going to be a very, 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 very profound, where all this pent up demand. People are staying in their homes. There's nowhere to go. But once everything is set back to normal, where the jobs are coming back, you look on Craigslist, Indeed, Glassdoor, all these jobs are popping up, because with the $2 trillion that President Biden's going to pump in, it's going to create the jobs. And Wall Street is going to get their hands on it first. Then also it's going to trickle down to corporations. And there's going to be a lot of investments back and forth, and corporations need to reap all the potential sales that they can get in the coming years. That translates to more hiring. They need the employees. So at any rate, we will get out of this. I really feel good about it. I don't know when this year. I just don't know. To be honest, also with you, there are companies that are sliding right through this. They may have a few layoffs or shakeups within the corporations, layoffs and firings and reorganization to make them more leaner. But they've come through 2020 still alive, and someone had to, take the brunt of it. An employee, several employees, a multitude of employees. It's sad, but then the company's still there. And then with the companies that are still there, corporations, nonprofits, even government, city, state, and federal governments, they will come to a point where they have to hire back in waves. And you'll still see a lot of job openings on Indeed, Craigslist, Glassdoor, and so on and so on and so on. So I just wanted to give you a macro level about my opinion regarding the economy, the jobs, a little bit tidbit there. But at any rate, Bitcoin took a dive. This to me is not tanking. Tanking would have been like if it dropped down to $10,000 a unit. We're not seeing it there. It's strong. So what I do see that there's a lot of manipulation, and I've discussed before in my previous videos that you don't see underlying blockchain and who's running it, the programmers, the software engineers, and so on and so on. You watching this video on YouTube, you don't have access to see all this programming. Okay, so there are programmers that they're sleeping on their couch, they're dreaming, eating this stuff 24/7 in hopes of getting rich and reaping profits. And they have control to some extent on how they're driving Bitcoin and all the cryptos. But for right now, what I'm saying is that my belief is that these cryptos are here to stay, but they're also are going to face a lot of challenges. and I'll get into one of that today, a little bit later. But I wanted to go over the market cap, and then I'll go over to an article regarding Fed Chair Yellen regarding her remarks today. So, anyways, Bitcoin here is about 31,000 plus. Look at the market cap; it's 576. 576. Okay, let's say there's a 993 million. So let's round it up. $577 billion. Okay, do you know what it was on January 9th? Okay, this is from January 9th. January 9th, 2021. The price was at $40,767. 4767. The market cap was 755 billion. Okay, and look where it's at now. It dropped 576 billion. So, oh God, I don't know. I don't think people are looking at the macro compared to what the micro is, but there is about almost 200 billion reduction. It's about 175 billion just gone, or I would say reduced in market cap. So from 755 billion down to 576 billion, 175 billion it's not there. Where did it go? You got to be asking yourself these questions. I keep saying this in all my videos. Where did the $175 billion of Bitcoin market cap go? Okay, profits, people sold, people took the. You're not seeing this, so you're not seeing who's buying and selling all this, or even on the machine language with blockchain. But 175 billion is a lot of money, and is this accurate? I can tell you, I don't know. I don't know how accurate this is. But when you compare $175 billion in reduced market cap to the price per unit, it dropped down to 31,000 from 40,000 in about 12 days. When you look at this when you try to apply strengths like I don't want to use the word beta, but $10,000 drop, a $10,000 drop in units per unit compared to the $175 billion lost or gone, or a transfer of wealth. Let's put it that way. Transfer of wealth. Someone liquidated. Okay. How accurate they liquidated? I mean, are there criminals that are like pumping the money that you don't see it, but it's going into the bank accounts? So there's a lot of play in this, and that's 175 billion. So the $10,000. So the strength of the unit for Bitcoin, it looks pretty stable, and that's what I'm trying to get at, is that it looks pretty stable considering that $175 billion is transferred out. So I know that this is going. I have a feeling that this is my feeling. There's going to be a big spike in Bitcoin. It's going to go up, and what's happening is the reason why it dropped a lot lower today is because of Yellen, Fed Chair Yellen, making a comment today. So let's move on here. Ethereum is 1171, and it was 1329 on January 9th, and it hit 1411, which is awesome. I mean, but look at the market cap, $150 billion, and it's 133 billion. So there's a lot, about 17 billion reduction, but it didn't. So when you try to correlate the price per unit to the market cap, the drop in the price per unit, it's not that substantial. It's not scaring. I mean, it's pretty strong. So if let's say that like the market cap for Bitcoin dropped lower than 576 billion. Let's say it went down to 300 billion, then the correlation to the price per unit would drop a lot lower, maybe down to 10,000 a unit. So it is related, the market cap compared to the price per unit, but it's pretty strong. I like to see this. Tether is awesome. It's still, it's awesome. It's an awesome crypto. It's still at $1. I do have a feeling it will go up. There's a lot of other cryptos that are increasing. Now let's go down to Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is strong. It's keeping its value. It's 0.0083. It's ranked 33, and the market cap is $1 billion. Wow, that's great. It was a lot lower than this. I think about $800 million just last year, and it was a lot lower than that several years ago in 2018. 300 million, I think. Now it's over $1 billion. So I do see a lot of growth potential in Dogecoin. It's just a matter of just buy and hold. But the hope is that you get rich. I mean, or at least get a sizable chunk out of that. There's a lot of other cryptos that you want to maybe you want to look at. They have different purposes. They've all been, so you look at the green markers, they've been increasing. A lot of them have been decreasing. Okay, so going on to Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen posted Market Insider. She posted, or she suggested curtailing cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, saying they are mainly used for illegal financing. So I have a disagreement with that. Blockchain is what I said earlier in my other videos. Blockchain is stack to stack programming, block to block. So whoever is utilizing this for crypto for illegal, they can't get away with it. Because once they download it to their bank account to cash out or transfer to the bank into their country's currency, there's a tracking. There's a tracking associated with it. There's a time stamp. There's a date stamp. It also it involves the routing number, the bank account number, and the dollar amount, and any other additional information regarding that bank. So I think it's a fallacy to believe that. But the real course that the feds are worried about is the control over monetary supply. So as more people get into Bitcoin and altcoins, it's all a matter of control of the population and to create a market. And the market is to buy and sell and have buyers and sellers products and services, whereas the government is able to tax, and by taxing, the government is able to maintain a bank of their own through the IRS and various state agencies, tax collecting agencies. California is the Franchise Tax Board. So with the market, you're able to create commerce, and then commerce is taxed through various methods. So I do know, or I have a feeling that a lot of governments are threatened by people trying to disengage from the dollar and just paying for services and goods via Bitcoin. But with that being said, I know that in China, they had tried to stop cryptos, but then again, they thought it would be better to create a government crypto. And I believe that they've implemented that. I like to do an article on that too in the near future. But here, Janet Yellen on Tuesday suggested lawmakers curtail the use of Bitcoin amid terrorism concerns. Okay, that's one point. The other one is Yellen said cryptocurrencies transactions were used mainly for illicit financing. Okay, it was the latest sign of lawmakers and regulators could get tough on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is the thing that worries me, is that once they start implementing roadblocks to the growth of Bitcoin and other altcoins, you will see a drop in the price of those units. When these get implemented and how long they're going to stay, I don't know how long it's going to be or when it's going to happen. But I do feel that there is going to be some turbulence based on what Janet Yellen had indicated today. And this has been ongoing for years before this statement was made today. So the United States government is not blind to what cryptos are doing to the monetary control with the federal banking system. But this has been ongoing for years. But with the height of Bitcoin garnering all this attention, I think that's why it's making the news today. And we're going to see more of it. So, all I can say is you need, as an investor, you need to really, it depends on risk and reward and your risk appetite and what you hope to gain as a reward. So we live in a great world where now, whereas 40 years ago, you had to go to a stockbroker, Charles Schwab, for example, and open an account to trade in stocks. I would have loved to do that 40 years ago, but it was not accessible to most of the population. Now with the internet, you can open an account with the various trading platforms and buy stocks or buy Bitcoin. So that being said, I mean, you got to take this kind of like to heart, because you got to grow your money. With growing your money, you're trying to outpace inflation, and savings accounts are not paying any percents. There's no, used to be 7% back in 45 years ago in the 70s. Now then it dropped down to 5%, and then it's been like 2%, 1%, not even 1% anymore in savings account. So the real demon, which is the demon that is a threat to your money, is inflation. That is the real demon. It's all about purchasing power. So if you have funds, you want to grow your funds, and to grow that, you have various investment in vehicles based on your risk appetite. You want to stay ahead of inflation and to save and to grow your money in order to have more dollars to buy more expensive items in your life. Food, utilities, rent, mortgages, cars, the list goes on and on and on. So you always have to remember that the demon, the devil, a threat to the stability of money is inflation. And the whole idea about money is purchasing power. You take $1, and how much does that buy you? And I will be doing a video on that in another several weeks. But at any rate, it's interesting, what's going on. There's going to be turbulence, but I do see there's going to be spikes going up with Bitcoin. I just don't know when. I think shortly. Although that the government is trying to deal with this, but they really don't have a way of dealing with it, to be honest with you, because it's a method of payments for services and products, and people feel that to reduce cost, because it costs money, fees, just dealing with your own bank, whereas you can reduce that cost to deal with your bank, utilizing Bitcoin and altcoins. So I hope I'm trying to be clear with all that I'm expressing here. I'm not against Bitcoin. I have a lot of skepticism about it because it is ideal for scammers to manipulate the system. It's not 100% bulletproof. I disagree with all these experts saying that it's 100% accurate. It's not, and but it's here to stay. It's something that most people have to respect because it's got a lot of it's still in infancy, and with blockchain, it's going to permeate the financing system, accounting systems, audits, how audits are done, and true accuracy with financials, and the list goes on and on and on. So that being said, I appreciate everybody watching my video, and please support me and hit the like button. Please subscribe, share my videos with your friends.